Hello guys, so how you all doing? I hope you all doing great. And today we're going to learn JavaScript basically. So we're completely going to focus on JavaScript. In this JavaScript, the thing we're going to do now, so that the people are actually showing how to create a project and how to work in a JavaScript. But in this live session, I'm not going to cover all this and not that topic. Instead of that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through all the documentation of JavaScript and React and what are the things we're going to learn. I'm just going to cover up all the fundamentals of JavaScript. So I chose JavaScript Info as documentation. So basically, this documentation is so good. They cover all the advanced topic about JavaScript. So we have that modern JavaScript tutorial and how it done now, from the basic to advanced topic with a simple and detailed explanation. This is why I allow this documentation. You see, it basically I go and check this and I go through all these things here. But the thing, I couldn't able to find a good explanation other than this documentation. So I hope this will open up your mind how to read a documentation and how to practice a code, everything, guys. So I want to be very clear here. So everything I'm going to take example of JavaScript from this documentation, and each and every day I'm going to stream at least 1 hour to show the things how the JavaScript works. So the topic, I'll show you what are the topics we have. The JavaScript language. So here we can learn JavaScript starting from scratch and go to the advanced topic like OOPS, object-oriented programming. We concentrate on the language itself here with a minimum of environment-specific nodes. For example, you see these are the topics we are all going to cover. First of all, what is the most important thing in JavaScript? First of all, you see in an introduction of the JavaScript. So everyone is know the JavaScript basically work for the both to the front end and the back end. For the front end, we're going to use for the React, and it's going to run the client server side right in the browser. For the back end, we use a Node.js environment to connect to Express.js or Mango or SQL, MySQL, whatever it is. That's not a big deal. But we have the superpower in JavaScript. So we are just going to learn only one programming language, but we can work both in a front end and also the back end. So this is one of the most incredible thing we have in this programming language. That's why the programming language is so popular also. So we're going to cover up all the topics, and we're going to head over through all these documentation concepts. We're going to understand each and every line of the code, even though I didn't get into these sections and all advanced working with function and all. So just now I come to know there is a documentation which is good to learn and get some good examples from here. Okay, so the first step, if you're a programming, when it comes to programming, the thing is, first everyone is actually going to focus on how to think a logic. That is good. Yeah, we need to think as a logical thinker. We want to be like that. But before that, we want to know how the programming language basically works. If you are having some struggle in that, then how could you able to implement your logic into your programming? So this is the problem we all guys have. So I want to break all these things now. So I'm going to explain all the documentation. So we'll start now. So the JavaScript language. Okay, so that the first step is an introduction. So I'm just getting to the introduction. So what is the introduction? So an introduction to JavaScript. Let's see what's so special about JavaScript, what we can achieve with it. So, and what other technology play well with it. So we'll just go through this. What is JavaScript? JavaScript was initially created with a make web page alive, right? So JavaScript is only for to make a web page alive in a browser side for the client side, and also we can able to work in a backend to using a like Node.js. The programming in this language are called scripts. They can be written right in the web pages, HTML, and run automatically as a page load. So this is so cool. So when you're working on a JavaScript, so we don't want to connect any server to run our HTML file. It's directly going to work in a browser. So that is the cool thing. And scripts are provided and executed as a plain text. They don't need any special preparation or compilation to run. That's what I said, right? So we don't want to run any server side like that things, any server things and all. So in this aspect, JavaScript is very different from another programming language called Java. So Java is not a JavaScript, so JavaScript takes some inspiration from the Java language. That is the actual reason. Okay, what is it called? JavaScript. When JavaScript was created, it initially had another name, LiveScript. I don't know how many guys you know about that. Even though Just now I know the name called live script. That is so cool. You see, when we working in a JavaScript, when we working in a documentation, we try to get some knowledge from the documentation. We can get some in-depth knowledge. So that is the beauty of the documentation. So, but Java was popular at the time, so it was decided to the positioning a new language as a younger brother of Java would help. So, but as it involved, JavaScript became a fully independent language with its own specification called ECMAScript. ECMAScript is an organization who can control the JavaScript basically. So that is how the things work. And now it has no relation to the Java at all. Yeah, basically Java and JavaScript are both are different. Okay, we don't want to confuse our mind with the Java and JavaScript, because people are actually getting confused about Java and JavaScript. We don't want to do that, right? So JavaScript is completely different and Java is also completely different. Okay, today the Java can execute not only in the browser. So this is the cool thing we have. We can learn only one programming language, but we can able to work in a front end and also the back end. So what? If you learn a JavaScript, you can become a full stack developer. That's so cool, right? So, but also on the server or actually on any device that has special program called the JavaScript engine. What is the JavaScript engine? So every browser is going to have an engine, right? For example, if you take a Google Chrome, we have a V8 engine that is so popular, so powerful, so efficient. And when you take you like a Internet Explorer or Firefox, called a Firefox, the spider, like for the spider monkey, this is a Firefox is using an engine, Spider Monkey. So every browser is going to have a different engine. So this is the thing. But the thing is, the browser has an embedded engine, sometimes called a JavaScript virtual machine. Okay, different engine, different code names. For example, you see, I told you that V8 in Chrome has like Opera and Edge. So V8 in for Chrome, Opera and Edge has some different engine. Spider Monkey in Firefox, Chakra for the Internet Explorer, JavaScript Core for Netro, and there is a lot to we can go and learn about this, right? So that is not a big deal here, because we now every browser can understand your JavaScript, the ECMAScript. So that is so cool. Now, even though if you can able to return the programming language in ES6 version, we can able to use the Babel or Webpack to compile the code to the ES6 to ES5. So that is the cool thing, right? So we can work in more efficient way. The terms above are good to remember because they are used in developer articles on the internet. We'll use them to, for instance, in the future, X is supported by V8. That's cool. Then it's probably work on the Chrome and Opera and Edge. That's what I told you. What other thing? That's not a problem. Wherever you can code, but it's going to run in all browser nowadays. So that's so powerful. And how do engine work? So we want to know about this a little bit, basically, because I know that a lot of people are actually learning a JavaScript, but they don't know how the engine is basically works. Then how you can become a good developer, right? You just want to know how your code is executing in your browser or the engine, how the engine is compiling your code. So if you're not good at it, then how can you able to understand all the things what actually happening in under the hood? So that is so difficult to learn to become as a developer. So but we don't want to be a good knowledge about that, but we need some at least a minimum amount of knowledge how the programming and how the engine is basically works. So engine are complicated, I said, but the basics are easy. So that I told you that we need to know about the basic. The engine embedded in its browser. So basically the engine embedded into the browser. Okay, so embedded reads and parse the script. So when you're writing the code in your JavaScript, basically, right? So that is actually human understandable, but how the machine is actually understanding? So it is going to make a parser. So it's going to check for the syntax. So every syntax is properly in your file. Yeah, it's okay, means yeah, then it's moved to the AST. I forgot that AST. I think I don't know what is that AST mean. Wait, I'll check that. AST in programming. Okay, so AST in programming, abstract syntax tree. Okay, I don't know how many guys know about this abstract syntax tree. It is like a data structure, so it can structure your data. You see, abstract syntax structure to a text. Okay, I think AST Explorer, I think the website name called AST Explorer. So I'll just go here. Okay, I just want to give you some normal example, guys. So that's it. Okay, so here you see we are having our JavaScript. We can run the JavaScript here and it's going to compile our JavaScript in a different way. Okay, But what the thing, you're writing a JavaScript as for the human readable. For example, I'm going to give a Jagan equal name equal to Jagan. When I type something, it's actually returning into this tree, right? So this is called the abstract tree syntax. So when I open the program and we have the types, we have the object, it contains the type, start index and the end index. So start from 0 and end with the 19, and we have the body, one element. What is that one element? We created the one element here, but when I open the body, we can able to see the variable declaration. So when I open this variable declaration, I can able to see the type is variable declaration, start from 0 and 18. So the ID is the identifier and the name called name. You see, I have the name and the name as the key is coming here. And if I open this, I can able to see the value of my name is Jagan. So this is so cool, right? So if you don't know this, you don't want to know about this, but you at least know how these things are basically works in the background, right? So that's why I show you that. So this is the AST, so JavaScript Engine. When you save the file, it's going to send that to the parser. Parser is going to create the AST. AST is going to make a machine convert or compile the machine code to understand as like a machine. Okay, and then you see, then it's convert to the compiled to script to the machine code. That's what I said. And then the machine code runs pretty fast. Yeah, this is how the machine code. What is the machine code? Basically like a binary, right? So engine applies optimization at each steps of the process. It even watch the compile script as it runs, analyze the data that flow through, and future optimistic the machine code based on onto the knowledge. Don't worry guys, I'm just reading this document because this is the initial stage. Because we are just now I'm starting, right? Before we getting into the coding part, I just want to know how the introduction would be. So if not, then how can I explain the JavaScript very properly to this next level, right? So that's the problem. Don't worry, just keep stick guys. So we can learn this documentation only for this page, and we get into the backend stuff like the programming coding stuff and all. Okay, and coming back here, so what can I browser JavaScript do? What can in browser JavaScript do? Modern JavaScript is safe programming language. It does not provide low level key access to memory or the CPU because it was initially created by the browser, which do not require it. Yeah, that's cool. JavaScript capabilities greatly depend on the environment it's running in. For instance, Node.js. Yeah, we have some different environment for the browser. We're going to have like browser environment. For the backend, we have the Node.js support to function all the JavaScript to read and write and to files or whatever, right? So perform the network request also. We can able to create a code operations like that, get, post, put, update, delete, or whatever the things is. Okay, in JavaScript can do everything related to the web manipulation. So what is the manipulation? So basically you're going to interact with the user. So when you're interacting, what the interaction basically, we can able to create a post, we can able to delete the post, we can able to update the post. These are the interactions. So the user want to interact in your application, how they going to create your post and delete or update or read, right, to get the user data. And that web server side also. For instance, in browser, JavaScript is able to add new HTML to the page, change the existing content, modify the cell. That's what I said. That's what they mentioned, web page manipulation, right? And React is the user action, runs on the mouse click, pointer movement, and key press. Yeah, it's also going to react for the user action. What are the events? We have events. Everything is an event here, like add event listener method. We're going to use that in a JavaScript. So basically it's going to take a click event or keyboard event. There is like a type, a key up, key down, key enter, key leave, like this. There is a lot of event out there. So I will give you all the explanation, guys. Send request over to the network to remote server, download the upload file. So Ajax or common technologies, right? So we can able to use Ajax to transport a data from front end to the back end or to the server side to the database and all. Get and set cookies, ask question to the visitor, and show messages. So that is so cool. We can able to set some cookies, ask question to the visitor that you already came into the website, or like we can able to set some data like that. Remember, the data on the client side is a local storage. That is one of the more this cool thing, local storage. What is the local storage? Local storage is basically memory, minimum amount of memory can able to store some minimum data, right? So we can able to store our login information like that, but we are not going to store the login information or the password or email of the user in the local storage because it is visible, it's not protected. So instead of that, we're going to use in a different way. I will give you all the explanation, guys. For now, just local storage is just a storage for the browser. So that's all. Why can't in browser JavaScript do? So here, JavaScript abilities in browser are limited to protect the user safety that aims to prevent all evil web pages, all the evil web pages from the accessing private information harmful to the user data. Examples such as restriction included. So JavaScript on the web page not read, write attribute files on the hard disk, come them or execute program. It has no direct access to the OS function. Yeah, that is cool. Modern browser allow it to work with files. Yeah, modern browser allow to work with files like HTML, whatever it is, right? But the access is limited only for the provider if the user does not certain action like dropping a file into the browser window or selecting via to the input tag. Yeah, that's why I said we can able to interact with the user need to the element into our element, right? There are ways to interact with the cameras and microphones and other device, but they are required to the user explicitly permission. That's what it said. So we need a user permission to do all these things. So that's what can't in the browser JavaScript do. So a JavaScript enabled page may not clicky enable to the webcam, right? Observe, just 1 minute guys. Okay, we'll start. Okay, so the JavaScript enable the page may not sneaky enable a webcam or observe the surrounding and send the information to the NSA. I don't know this. What we'll go and check what is NSA. Okay, so what's the National Security Agency? Okay, this is how they are actually protecting the users, everything, the permission and all. I think different tabs, Windows generally do not know about each other. Yeah, different tabs is basically going to be a new window object. That is the actual thing. Sometimes they do. For example, when one window use the JavaScript to open the other one. But even in the case JavaScript in the one page, I think we don't want to read all these things and all, because we don't need to become as a developer. Don't want to listen to all these things. So basically you see here the JavaScript can easily communicate over to the net to the server where the current page came from, but its ability to receive data from the site or domain is crippled, and though possibly it requires explicitly arrangement expressed in HTTP headers. From the remote side, once again, the safety limitation. Yeah, we can able to send the data here to the www.the organization and through the port here also, right? So the domain and everything is going to work. So it's going to take the script and we can connect the script to our computer. We can able to pass the data to the Java to wherever we want. So this is how things are work. Such limitations do not exist in Java to be used outside of the browser. For example, the server. Modern browser also no plugins extension which may ask for extended permission. So basically I didn't even prepare anything guys. Okay, so I'm just keep on learning in front of you. I didn't even go through all these things. Just now I'm going through all these things. If I make any mistake, I'm very sorry. If I make any mistake, just put in my command. I'll try to correct me. Okay, so that's maybe helpful. You can give to me. Okay, you can give a help for me. So what makes JavaScript unique? There are at least 3 great things about JavaScript. This is only an important thing. So full integration with HTML CSS. We can able to work in a client side to make some good advanced like web pages templates. Simple things are done simply. Yeah, this is so powerful. Supported by all major browser and enabled by default. So this is also one of the cool things. JavaScript is only the browser technology that combines the 3 things that what makes a JavaScript unique. That's why it's the most widespread tool for the creating browser and interface. You see, yeah, that is so cool, right? So then that said, JavaScript can use to create a server and mobile application, etc. Yeah, we can become a mobile app developer only knowing JavaScript. So that is so powerful, guys. Language the JavaScript. Okay, so we have the coffee script, syntactic sugar. What is the syntactic sugar? So basically, syntactic sugar, the term described, it's gonna work in the same way how the JavaScript works, but it's going to give some different kinds of syntax. When you physically writing the code, but when the execution is happening, it's going to work in the same way how the JavaScript is run, guys. So under the hood, everything would be a proper way. Everything would be a same way, but you can able to do the same thing in a different syntax for the JavaScript. It introduces a shorter syntax. That's what I said. Even though just now I'm learning this documentation, allowing us to write a clear and more precise code. Usually Ruby devs like it, right? Basically, when you use the syntactic sugar figure, so they make some complicated syntax in a easier manner, so we can understand the code easily and we can able to read and write the code easily. Even though if you're working in some project, if you some other developers come and combining with your project, they can also able to easily understand. So that is called the syntactic sugar. Things made easier. That's all. TypeScript is content on adding a script data type, so it's simply the development to support of the complex system developed by the Microsoft. So what is the TypeScript? So basically the JavaScript is a dynamic type. You don't want to specify which type you are creating in a variable, right? So but when the TypeScript comes, when you're working on the TypeScript, so you should want to mention what type the variable is going to hold. So this is going to reduce your errors, right? So sometimes we can able to confuse what type I mentioned in the variable like that. So we don't want to do that. So we have the power called TypeScript. So we can mention the TypeScript for the string. If you're passing any number value to that variable name, it's going to throw the error. So you can able to find easily this data type is not actually what I created, right? That is so cool. Flow also added the typing data, but also different way developed by Facebook. The same thing. Dart is a standalone language, has its own engine that's run in a non-browser environment like mobile apps, but also can translate to the JavaScript developed by Google. That is so cool. So Dart is basically what the Flutter is actually using the base of Dart. And I don't know this, the Kotlin is the modern concept of the safe programming language that target the browser, or no, yeah, that is also cool. Yeah, the Kotlin also, that is so popular right now. So if you want to learn the Kotlin is so good. So you just go and take a look at the Kotlin documentation just for the. This is so cool, right? Okay, this is not a part of it. I'm actually fully a full stack developer, or I'm a full stack JavaScript developer. I just want to show you these are the things we can learn here, because I want to go through all the documentation here. So the summary, we came to the summary. Okay, so there are more, of course. Even if you use one of these transpile language, we should know JavaScript to really understand what we are doing. Yeah, that's what I said. If you're not having the good understanding about the JavaScript, then you cannot able to write a code in the CoffeeScript or the TypeScript or the Flow or nothing. Okay, so before you getting into this script or any framework or any library, try to learn the JavaScript very good, guys. So that is so powerful. Then I hope you guys are understanding what I mean. And the summary, JavaScript was initially created as a browser-only language. Yeah, that it's actually only created for only work in a browser, but it also now used in many other environment as well. Today, the JavaScript has a unique position for the most widely adopted browser language, fully integrated with HTML and CSS. Yeah, so we can able to put the text or tags through HTML and to make a styling through a CSS. So if you want to make the user interaction, we can use the JavaScript to do all the interaction. We can create or make the post or something like that. And also we have the internet through the network accessibility, right? So we can able to transfer the data from one client side to the server side. So that is so powerful, guys. That is why the JavaScript is more powerful. And also there is a lot of concept out there why the JavaScript is more powerful now in this era. I will explain you that now. Okay, there are more languages that get transpiled to the JavaScript and provides certain features, right? It's recommended to take a look at them, at least briefly. Mastering JavaScript. Yeah, we'll go and take a deep look about the JavaScript now. Giving the next, we'll get to the manual and specification. This book is a tutorial. It aims to help you gradually learn the JavaScript. Yeah, the thing is, we're going to learn the steps, every steps gradually. So that is so powerful, right? So don't rush, you guys. Don't rush yourself when it's come to the programming. Even I have 5 years of experience. I started my career in my own startup company. I didn't know about anything about the programming language. After I put a lot of work out there. I work hard for that. Now I can able to understand other people code. This is what the developer. Don't try to code 0 to 100 line. Instead of that, go and get some other people code through the internet and try to understand their mindset. If you understand their mindset, you can able to think your own logic in a different way. So that's all, guys. This is the developer. Actually, this is what the developer. But once you're familiar with the basics, you will need another resource. So instead of that, I want to explain you one more thing. So if you see, JavaScript, not only the JavaScript, everything in the world, what are the things you're gonna take, right? So whatever it is, the mechanic or the cleaner or the software engineer or carpenter or building constructor, whatever, you can take any profession you want. Okay, we have the concept of 100%, right? But not everyone is going to work on 100%. they're going to take this only a part of 20%. This 20% is important. This 20% is only the thing now the world exists, right? So because whatever the thing you're creating in the project, so they're actually taking this 20% to create a good project. I hope you will understand. Don't try to learn all the things, all the concept in the programming language, not only in programming language, in everything. Okay, so try to understand the core fundamentals first of all. If you are familiar with the fundamentals, and the advanced topic is so easy, guys. So that is the actual thing. So try to understand the basics. So I'm here to help you out for that happily, right? So then we can able to move on to the advanced level. Now coming back to here, so specification, this contain the most in-depth, detailed and formalized information of the JavaScript will define the language. But the beginning at the formalized is difficult to understand at first. Yeah, you don't want to worry about that, because I'm here to give the difficult in an easy way. So if you need the most trustworthy source of information about the language, detail the specification right place. Yeah, this is the cool. Yeah, this is why I said this information is the language is more explanation. Okay, but people are actually not using this documentation because this is so complicated. That's, but I want to make I want to break this. This is not for everyday use. Yeah, the new specification version is related to every year between this release. The latest specification that we don't need to install manually. MDM is a Mozilla JavaScript reference. We can go and get some syntax from there. For example, I'll just go and open this. Okay, we can find all the things, resources about the what is it, manual with the examples and other information. It's great to get in-depth information about the individual language function and method. Yeah, you can go and get a reference here, guys. So basically see built an object, and you can go and check what is array and everything. So try to go through all these things and all. So we can, after that we can come to the MDN web docs and we can take a look at it, what the MDN web docs is doing, right? So compatibility stable. What is the compatibility stable? JavaScript is a developing language. New features get added regularly to see the support among the browser based on other engines. So we don't want these and all. Okay, so it's compatibility. What is the compatibility? Don't worry, guys. Compatibility is basically a thing. Every browser is going to understand your code. That is called the compatibility. You can write the code. You can able to use the code wherever you want. That's very simple. Okay. Code editor. Yeah, the code editor, I'm using the Visual Studio Code basically. So just we're going to code today. I'm not going to show you any code, guys. From tomorrow onwards, we're going to cover all the topics about the fundamentals like variable, slopes, function, object, everything. We're going to break down all these things. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the explanation of the introduction of the JavaScript. What we're going to do. I want to be clear about that. So if I'm not clear about that, then I cannot able to do this process very perfectly. So that I want to be clear about what I'm going to do in the upcoming live session. So the live section is only for, I'm just going to go through all the documentation of the programming language, not only the JavaScript, for the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and the Node.js, everything we're going to look at documentation, because everyone is doing a project. That's okay, that's cool. Yeah, you can learn anything through the project, but that's so fine. But the thing is, we want to be good at how to learn a documentation. If you're not good, then how can you become a good developer? So try to learn the documentation properly. Okay, we can able to get a lot of information through the documentation, but the people are actually doing, they're watching some videos, they're copying, they're memorizing the other people's code. So that is so bad, you know. It is the initial stage, okay, but you stick to that. Don't do that. Break that thing out. Okay, break that thing. So just go and download this one. Okay, once you download, for the Window user, you can download this. For the Mac user, download this, and ask you to install this installation. So everything is done. You can able to work with the VS Code. I already have here. If you see, I have the VS Code here. Okay, I already did that. So lightweight editor, we don't want to do this and all. I'm just going to stick with the VS Code only. Developer console. What is the developer console? Code is a prone to error. Yeah, you're quite likely to make errors, right? So if you are a developer, if you want to become a developer, we want to make a lot of errors. So we can learn such a great things through the error, guys, to understand the programming language. Even though when I start my developing career, I hate error, but now I love error, because I can able to understand the things more precisely, so that open up my mind how the programming is basically works, the language basically works. How, what I'm talking about, you're absolutely going to make errors, right? You're going to making a lot of errors. Don't feel bad when you're making error. That is only the thing. It's going to grow you up whatever the thing is, make an error, make an error, make an error. That is what the slogan. Okay, just make error, guys. At least if you are a human, not a robot. Yeah, we are not a robot, right? We don't have any instructions. We have the freedom. We can do whatever we want. We want to make a mistake to learn a good stuff. So just try to make a mistake and try to understand the programming language. I am here to help you out to all of these things, guys. Don't worry about that. But in the browser, user don't see any error, by default. So if something goes wrong in the script, we won't see what broken cannot fix. So basically, we cannot able to see the error through the file. Instead of that, we're going to check our error to the browser. I will explain what is that, what I mean. So to see the error and get a lot of other useful information of the script, developer tool have been embedded in the browser. So we have the access of developer tool. It has a console. In the console only we're going to look all the error, what the mistake we made, the weird mistake we made in the JavaScript. That is so powerful, right? It was embedded into the browser. What just look the keywords. Okay, if the interviewer asks, just you give that keywords. And most developers learn towards the Chrome, Firefox for the development because the browser have the best developer tool. Yeah, when it's come to, don't use the Internet Explorer or some other things, some other browser, guys. I'm just going to stick with the browser, the Chrome browser only, because that is so powerful. They provide you a developer tool sometimes with the special features, like that is actually usually like playing you see, usually playing and catch up to the Chrome or Firefox. Most developers have the favorite browser to switch without that problem, but browser specification. But I stick with browser of Google, that is Chrome. Developer tools are potent. They have many features to start. We'll learn open up. We don't want to this with the Chrome. Okay, I'm just going to work on the Chrome. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to open up and hit this right click here. I want to go to the inspect and just make the console. So the console, this is what the console is. Okay, so here you see have the console, what the console is going to do. Okay, so console is a command, cmd. Okay, the command prompt. Here I'm just going to give a name here. Okay, name, sorry, I made a mistake. You see, even though I make a mistake here, var name is equal to, I'm just going to type in Java. So I stored this variable with the value in a memory. So now I can able to console the name here. I'm going to get Jagan. That's cool. I can able to give the expression 5 plus 5 equal to 10. 5 multiplied by 5. This is not a big mathematics. I'm sorry about that. Is 25. So we can do whatever we want, guys. You can pass the boolean here, it's going to return the true. You can pass the object here, it's going to return the empty object. You can pass the array here, it's going to return the empty array. So you can do whatever the things you want, guys. So we can able to create. You see, the function spelling is wrong, so the error is going to show the error. Function is not defined. So these kind of the error we're going to get. What are the mistakes we're going to make in the JavaScript file? So the JavaScript file is not going to throw any error. Instead of that, we're going to come back to check the error into the console. Then we can able to know what error we made in the JavaScript file. Then we can able to fix that out. This is so simple, guys. Coming back to the developer console, then what? For the Safari, we don't want to set up this. Basically, go and set up the default browser and all in your Windows or Safari. That's all. Okay, we get into the JavaScript fundamentals. Okay, guys, we'll catch up this tomorrow. Okay, for this live, I just want to show you what we're going to do in this upcoming section of the live. So the tomorrow onwards, I'm going to show up all the JavaScript fundamentals. Okay, hello world, the code structure, modern mode of the use trick. What is the use trick like this? Everything, variable, data types, and all the things. How to interact with the alert prompt and confirm all these things. So I hope this idea would be a great for me, I think, because even though I can able to learn some good things from the documentation, I hope that's make me gives you some good idea to more in-depth idea about the programming language of JavaScript. So if you guys okay, and if you are think this is good, just give me the idea, guys. So just give me your idea into my command, so that it may be so welcome for me, right? So, and also it gives me some hope. And also thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much for the subscriber. I got a 263 subscriber, even though I didn't put a lot of video. I just made only one video through the blog post, only using the React and Firebase. I tried to make a more project also, don't worry, and I'll give you some in-depth knowledge about the JavaScript. So just keep subscribe and like my video, guys, and the channel. Please subscribe my channel and alert the notification button. Each and every day I'm going to post at least half an hour to the 1 hour live session. We're going to cover up all these things. It takes time. I know it takes time, because the learning documentation is not a good idea. Not like that. It's actually a good idea, but it takes a lot of time. Just stick with your time, and this time is going to give you some reward in the future. So that's all, guys. If you put some hard work is gonna be very good at the future. So that's all. I'm ready to put my hard work. Just join with my hard work, guys. So that's all. I'm just welcoming you to join in my channel and the live. We can learn together and we'll grow together. Thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow.